Well, good morning, at least morning to everyone who's in the US, and good evening to everybody who's over there in Ethiopia now. This is really special, really exciting to be able to do this and um, try this out for the first time. And it's really nice to see faces I haven't seen in a long, long time. Really special to do. And this event today is really kind of celebrating a couple of things. One is restarting our medical teams after almost 3 years. I think it was January 3 years ago that we had our last medical team before COVID hit. And we're also celebrating the 20th anniversary of Ethiopia Act. We started about this time of year in 2002. So this is our 20th anniversary. And if I'm sure all of you remember 20 years ago that HIV was sort of the global issue that everyone was talking about, and everybody's energy was going to try and fight this disease. Millions of dollars and many people involved in trying to find a solution to HIV. But one of the things that wasn't happening in Ethiopia was caring for people who were already sick, and that's where Ethiopia Act was born, and what we felt like God was calling us to do 20 years ago. And that was when Bev and I really, as we were thinking about what God was calling us to do, the place where we really felt him leading us was in this area. Now, 20 years later, HIV has really changed. It's not a death sentence anymore. And Ethiopia Act has really changed and evolved and shifted to address the changing situation. But the thing that's really encouraging to me is that over these 20 years, just the number of people that have been loved and cared for through Ethiopia Act in a lot of different ways. One of the big ways has been through medical teams. And one of the ways that Ethiopia Act was able to really improve and get better at what it was doing was through the medical teams who came and really taught us. And more these days, we hear stories about people who were part of the project in the early days, and how now, 20 years later, their lives have been so transformed by what happened. And it's just been one of the greatest joys of my life to be able to be in a place and be part of something where God was just really clearly working in such amazing ways. But ACT has always been a lot more than just Bev and me. It's been, like I've said, the teams, it's been the donors who've made it possible. But it's really been mostly the staff, the team, the people that God called there in Ethiopia to really be the ones who were the hands and feet of this organizations, and really the hands and feet of Jesus to thousands and thousands of people. And they're the ones even today who get up every morning and who do the work. And so I really, what I'd like part of this time together to be is to really be able to say thank you to them and hear from them and what they have to say. So I'm going to turn it over to Teddy and let him take things from here.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody over there. And really, this is a great time and refreshing. I have two reasons for being refreshed. One is I have got the time to think what has happened the last 20 years, and I was enjoying remembering people who were benefiting and who were serving the project in the project. The second thing is I am so much refreshed by seeing the medical team working alongside us after 2 years, which is very, very, very refreshing. Yeah, coming back to the history of Ethiopia Act, when Ethiopia Act started like 20 years ago, it was a time where HIV crisis was at its peak, where people affected with HIV were filled with fear of death, hopelessness, and loneliness, where people, days in the community from HIV was considered no more a shocking story because it was a time where people bury their neighbor, their friends because of HIV and AIDS. This is the time where Ethiopia commit to serve people who are affected by HIV. Unfortunately, there was no expert in HIV care, but Ethiopia Act missionaries and local staff committed or burdened to care for these HIV people. And what they used to do was visit them, pray with them, comfort with their struggle, and address their physical needs. We experienced a lot during those times, God working among us, comforting people. Not only that, God was moving the hearts of our friends, families, supporters, churches to stand alongside Ethiopia Act, which was empowering us with a skill, with a resource, even maturing with Ministry of Mercy. After 20 years, seeing this family filled with fresh thought, spirit, energy to think for their family, plan for their family is so amazing, so surprising for me, because no one was able to assume or think these people live this long. These people teach their children to the level of university. It was really amazing. It's pour energy in our life to stretch out to the community. But this Ethiopia Act is not enjoying success only. Ethiopia Act has been struggling with a lot of challenges. Among that, one of the challenges that sustained for a long time is care for HIV positive children, especially keeping these children on medication, convincing them to start their medication is really a huge challenge for Ethiopia, because we have experienced it. As these children are growing, they came up and wrestled with a lot of problems like fearfulness, guilty, and complaining about their family. In the worst case scenario, these children used to quarrel with their family. Looking after these children and care is a huge challenge. But God helped us. And when these children are succeeded with the medication, we enjoy and pour energy into our heart to stretch. That's how an Ethiopia Act always look forward to care for more beneficiaries. I would like to share you one story that I am always surprised when I walk into the government office for a business. I was stopped by two security ladies, walked directly to me, and I was not aware that these ladies were serious on me. When they come too close to me, they jump and hug me, and they kissed me, and they were not able to stop how thankful they were for the opportunity care they received in Ethiopia Act. And as they become very strong, they become successful in fighting HIV and become public servants. They told me who they are. I barely recognized that these people were beneficiaries of Ethiopia Act some years ago. Now they are different people, able to care for themselves, their families. And these people helped me to guiding to the government officials and get things done on behalf of me. This is an energy which always encourages us to go further to the community and care for the community.
And now we'll bring on our next guest, who I know many of you will recognize.
Hello, Andy. And all friends all over the world and here in Addis. This is Gazao. I know most of you who are coming to Ethiopia to serve with us with the medical team. Remember me at the airport gate holding the Ethiopian Act logo. So now I would like to say thank you, everybody, that the impact you have done in our ministry. I have been served in this family ministry that I call always, this is not just a regular ministry, it is really a family among our expat and national colleagues, and also in addition to our beneficiaries. So really, I'm very blessed, and the Lord granted me such opportunity to be part of this ministry. So I thank God, and I thank everybody who allows me to be part of this. So this is a time for us to celebrate how the Lord has done in these past years. And I can see that there are many impacts of the medical teams who are coming, left their business, their day-to-day career, their family, their beloveds, and to serve with us, to serve the least among that the Lord is looking from each and individual believers. So I would like to say thank you very much. You know, many of you know how you see our ministry when you are coming to Ethiopia, especially when we do home visits. You know how people are touched by your ministry, and also it is a mutual learning process. Some of our beneficiary taught for many medical team members how they live and how they are cheerful to welcome them, and many of our beneficiaries were very touched by your visit at their home, you know, because they are neglected and pushed away by their friends, families, and neighbors. But you guys are the one who go and just sit with them, talk with them, and pray with them, and share some of them share their coffee and popcorn, and you are welcome to have that one. And thank you very much. And in addition to that, I would like to say the impact of the medical team in the Ethiopian Act Ministry, in the heart of Andy and Bev. It is not only serving these people with their physical need, but it's also a need to reach them through the love of Christ and to plant the church. So out of your ministry, out of your impact, you know, Ethiopia Act has now branched out to 7 different parts of Ethiopia, and we do have 7 mission churches throughout the Addis, and so we are very thankful with that. We got training from many pastors who are coming from the along with the team, and also we get some training, life experience, ministry experience, and also there many trainings that we get from the medical team. So it is a great privilege for you. So I am very happy now, after COVID breaks and slow down. Would like to thank Cedar Spring Churches. They are here to be the first, a new ambassador again to our ministry. And I'm encouraging you, and I'm waiting you at the airport now. So please come and send people they would like to see people and to serve with us. And if you have any question, if you'd like to have macchiato, if you'd like to get coffee, come and serve with us. Thank you.
Now we're welcoming back Teddy and another very special guest who is able to be with us tonight.
Again, I have a guest who has been served in Ethiopia Act for quite a long time. She will introduce herself. ራስሽን አስተዋውቂ።
እኔ ስመቀች ስሙ ባለና አንድ ልጅ እናት ነኝ። ወንድም ያገኝ ባለቤት ነኝ። አብረን ነው የምንኖረው። ልጅ 14 ዓመት ነው። ሱቂ አካባቢ ነው የምንኖረው።
She said her name is Atnaka Chasmao. She's a mother of one child. Her age is 14 and she's married and married to Yabalvich.
ወንድም አገኘሁባ
Married to Wandama Gairova and she lives in Suki community. Listen to the notes.
10 ዓመት
She lived in Suki community for the last 10 years. በኢትዮጵያ አክት ጋር ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የተገኘና ያየሽው መቼ ነው? I asked her when she get connected to Ethiopia Act.
በ2013 ቃለ ሕይወት የሚባል ቸርች የመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ለሕክምና አገልግሎት ሲመጡ አንዲት እህት ጋብዛኝ ወደዛ ሕክምና ሄድኩ። ከዛም ከነሱ ጋር ለመተዋወቅ
She reported that she get connected to Ethiopia Act in 2013. She was invited by her neighbor to Kale Hiyot Church when the medical team was visiting and treating people there. And because of her diagnosis, she's connected to Ethiopia Act. ሕይወትሽ በዛን ጊዜ ምን ይመስል ነበር? I asked her, what was your life like then?
ሕይወቴ በዛን ጊዜ ያመኝ ነበር። በጣም በህመም ላይ ነበርኩት።
ምንድን ነበር ማለሽ?
የሚያመኝ ነበረው ዋነኛ በዛን ሰዓት የታመምኩበት በካንሰር ዙሪያ ነበር። ኬሞቴራፒ ወስጄ ነበር፣ በጨረር ወስጄ ነበር እና በእንደዛ አይነት ሁኔታ እያለሁ ነው ከነሱ ጋር
When I get connected to Ethiopia Act, she said she was suffering with a couple of chronic illnesses. One was cancer, and she was on chemotherapy and radiation, and she was struggling with it. And in that situation, that she is connected to Ethiopia Act. Lila Funchikana. It's not only cancer, she said. Retroviral infection was also her problem, and she was on treatment in that time. But her family was challenged with a lot of economic and other related issues. ላለፉት 9 ዓመታት ምን ለውጥ አየሽ በሕይወትሽ? I asked her what has changed for you over the last 9 years.
በሕይወቴማ ያየሁት ለውጥ ጌታ ረድቶኝ በመንፈሳዊ ሕይወት በጌታ ነበርኩ ድሮ፣ በጌታ ነኝ ያለሁት። ጤነኛ ነኝ። ልጄን አላሳድጋትም ብዬ ፈርቼ ነበረ በዛን ጊዜ። አሁን ልጄን አሳድጊያታለሁ ከእግዚአብሔር ጋር። ቤተሰቤም አልተበተንም። እኔም በሕይወት እስከዛሬ ድረስ እግዚአብሔር ረድቶኝ አለኝ ማለት ነው።
She reported that the first and most important thing I got from this ministry is that I became born again Christian, and fear that I was struggling, fear of death that I was struggling is no more an issue with me. I was struggling with a medical problem. Now I'm healthy and strong. She said she was terrified. How can I care for my child? Now that I'm able to teach my children, and I also serve in the church that I am being served for the last 10 years. ከኢትዮጵያ አክት ጋር ከመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ጀምሮ ስትቆይ ምን ትውስታ አለሽ?
ያለኝ ትውስታ ከሁሉም በላይ ማለት ነው በዛን ጊዜ እንደ እህት እንደ ወንድም ምናቸውንም ሳላውቅ ደውዬ እኔም በታመምኩ ጊዜ ባለቤቴ በታመመ ጊዜ ደውዬ ጠርቻቸው እንደገና ደግሞ በዛ ከሕክምና በኋላ እኔን ለማየት ሲመጡ መሬት ላይ ቁጭ ብለው ያገለገሉ።
I have several memories of Ethiopia Act. When I was sick, I never called my brother, sister, or parents. I called to Ethiopia Act people. When I was sick and on bed, when I called them, I remember one day they came and visited me. They sat on the ground. I had no tools or chairs in the house. They sat on the ground and listened to me and treated me. That moment touched my life. And they bow down to lift me up. And this is a memory that I never forget in my entire life.
አሁን እሷን ሳያት ያ ነገር ውስጤ መጥቶብኝ ነበርና እግዚአብሔር ይባርካችሁ፣ በላችሁበት ተባረኩ፣ ያላችሁትን ተባረኩ።
Seeing Hannah sitting in front of me on the ground remind me the early days that when Ethiopia staff are coming and visiting me, sit on the ground and comfort me, address my stress. And it is my prayer for Ethiopia Act to expand. And I bless you, Ethiopia Act, and it's my prayer to expand more and reach more people. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
እግዚአብሔር ይባርካት፣ ተስናምታኛለች፣ ሰንቺን ትቆመም እንግዲህ
I remember one missionary lady, nurse practitioner. Her name is Linda Swallow. I don't forget her. She comforted me. She used to visit me and treated me. Her impact existed still today. She used to pray with me, and it was comforting for me. Thank you.
And now we're going to welcome two of the powerhouses of the Ethiopia Act staff, two of the people who do so much of the work on the ground.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
This is Alamu. I'm program manager. My friend she can introduce herself and I can translate for you.
ወይንሸት አብርሃም እባላለሁ። የምሰራው ፋሚሊ አድቮኬት።
Her name is Wainishet Abraham and she is a family advocate.
በየቀኑ ባለኝ የቀን ፕሮግራም 8 ቤቶችን እጎበኛለሁ። ያሉኝን 7 ዋና ቤኔፊሻሪዎች ከነሱ ስር 19 በትዳር የተጣመሩ አሉ። 127 ልጆች አሉ። እነዚህ በየቀኑ ፕሮግራም አውጥቼ ባሉበት ያለባቸውን የጤና፣ የማህበራዊ፣ የስነ ልቦና፣ የኢኮኖሚ ችግራቸውን በመቅረብ ተገኝቼ ይህንን ምክር እሰጣለሁ።
I think just to explain that in the previous days we had what we call it expert patient who can go and visit our home to home. Nowadays, Ethiopia Act has changed it to the what Wainishet is telling us, family advocate. And family advocate, I have been asking her what is your routine duties every day, and she told me that under her care there are 89 families and 127 children under her care.
እነዚህ ሰዎች ያለባቸው የጤና ችግር፣ የስነ ልቦና፣ ማህበራዊ አሁን በቤተሰብ ውስጥ ልጆች ከወላጅ ወይ ባልና ሚስት በተለያየ መንገድ ግጭቶች ሊኖሩ ይችላሉ። እነዚህን ግጭቶች እንዲፈቱ፣ ቤተሰቡ እንዳይበተን፣ ልጆች ከወላጅ ጋር ቤተሰቡ አንድ ሆኖ ኑሮን እንዲመራ ምክር እሰጣለሁ። እንደገና ደግሞ ልጆች በየዕለቱ ትምህርት ቤት ሳይቀሩ ትምህርታቸውን እንዲከታተሉ፣ በቤት ውስጥ ያለ የጤና ችግር ደግሞ ካለ ይሄንን ለሚመለከተው የጤና ባለሙያ ወደዚህ ሪፖርት በማድረግ የተለያየ የጤና ክትትል እንዲደረግላቸው አመቻቻለሁ።
Wanishet is saying daily she visit eight families, and that family visits, what she does is like healthcare, economic support, social support, counseling. That there are some widows who are disappointed or discouraged, and there are some kids who could not go to school, or doing all this follow-up daily is my major duty. If something is beyond my capacity, then there are officers in the office, so I report to them and do the follow-up daily. Maybe just to give you this question, I'm asking her now. Dr. Act is heading to the new neighborhood, what we call it Hana Mariam area, and that new expansion area. I'm asking her, what did you observe in the new areas?
መንግስት በዚህ በሃና ማርያም አካባቢ የዕለት ጉርስ በጣም ያጡ የተጎዱ በኢኮኖሚ በጤና የተጎዱ ሰዎች እንዳሉ ለፕሮጀክቱ በሰጠው ሪፖርት መሰረት ፕሮጀክቱ 90 ሰዎችን ለመያዝ የሄድንበት ይህንን ስራ ለመስራት ቤት ለቤት ባደረግነው የጉብኝትም የቅበላም ስራ በጣም የተጎዱ የተለያዩ ጽኑ ህሙማን ራሳቸውን መርዳት የሚችሉ ባሎቻቸው ጥሏቸው የሄዱ ባልቴቶች ልጆች ብቻቸውን የነበሩበት ሁኔታ ሁሉ ተመልክቻለሁ።
What Wanishet is reporting is in the new neighborhood, government came up with a list of beneficiaries who need a daily meal, and out of that big bunch of the list, we were selecting beneficiaries, 90 beneficiaries, and while that road, they were going home to home to select those beneficiaries, and she said she has observed that a lot of orphan, widowed, and some are chronically sick with chronic illness like HIV, cancer, TB, and others. Orphan children, widowed, and elderly. What she observed in that visit.
በዛ ባየሁት እነዚህን የተጎዱ ሰዎች አይቼ እንደመጣውና ለዚህ ፕሮጀክት ሪፖርት እንዳደረግኩ ሙሉ ይህ ፕሮጀክት የነዛን በጣም በዚህ አይነት ጥያቄ ውስጥ በዚህ አይነት ጉድለት ውስጥ ያሉ ሰዎችን ያሉበትን ችግር ተረድቶ አሁን ይረዳቸው በጣም ደስ ይለኛል። ለምን በጣም አጣዳፊ ምላሽ የሚፈልጉ ናቸው እነዛ ሰዎች። ባልጋ ላይ ያሉ አሉ፣ ካለባቸው ችግር የተነሳ ወጥተው መስራት የማይችሉ አሉ እና ይሄንን በዚህ ሰዓት እነሱን አድሬስ ቢያደርግ በጣም ደስ ይላል።
Wanishet is saying out of those 300 and some big list, we came up with to address 90 beneficiaries. It was not only, as government said, only daily meal problem, but the problem was big, like chronic illness, and I'm very thankful that Ethiopia Act addressed the holistic issue, not only food, but their children, sending their school, and taking care of those their health issue, and social. And social means they are disintegrated with their families, and addressing these all issues. Very housing, some are really out of the house, just on the street. So Ethiopia Act is addressed almost every need of these beneficiaries. So I hope Ethiopia Act will continue to further expand and support those needy ones in the community. Thank you.
And now we have a representative from our current team on the ground, but also from many previous teams.
Hello, everyone. My name is Roger Brooksbank. I'm an emergency room physician from Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'll tell a little bit of my story and tell some of my experiences I've had with the project. I started with this in about 2012, in which I had a friend named Chris Scott. Many of you know Dr. Chris Scott, who is a cardiologist who was actually one of my teaching professors when I was in residency. And he called me one day out of the blue and said, "Hey, we're taking this team to Ethiopia. Would you like to join me?" So I heard the story, I learned about what he did, and it probably took me about 2 years to be able to have enough courage to give this thing a shot. So now I've gone 5 times, so that this week is my 5th time. As you can understand, that's why I haven't shaved this week. This is my 3rd day. So it's a great time. You know, there's nothing better than the time that we get to spend. So as a emergency room physician, I think of things in bullet points, and I think of things like I think of patients. How do I work through different things? When I think of this trip and the ability to come over here, I think of 3 different important things that we learn. Number 1 that we learn is, and the fun that we get to have with the team that we have here. The team that, when you come to Ethiopia, you get to be able to see a great country. You're able to see folks and people who work with these patients every day, who are just great folks to work with. You find them as family. You understand that they're almost your brother by the time that you've been here several times. I can't really explain it, but it's just something that's really special. The second thing is the fellowship and the time that you get to spend with your own team that you travel with. We have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot. We have daily devotion, but we mostly just enjoy each other and enjoy spending time with each other. One of my friends in the group, I still probably won't forgive him for taking us on one of my first trips here in one of the winter cold seasons. And as we're sleeping in a basement of one of the guest houses, we're all about to freeze, except he happens to walk out, happen to have his heating pad on. So I'll never forget that. I still have to kid him about that, but it's one of the many fun things and fun stories that we have. And then third, and the most important thing, is the medicine that we're able to do. If you look at what we've done and you see the population and just some observances that I've seen over the years. First of all, in the early days when we first started coming, a lot of the patients were just the beneficiaries, and a lot of them were getting kind of new in their treatment. They knew exactly what their CD4 counts were. They knew what their viral loads were, very attuned to their HIV and how they're being treated. And really, you could tell they really got it. They understood it. As I see a patient in the States, very rarely am I able to get any of those patients telling me what key numbers were that the patients here were able to do. A lot of that's related to how good the ACT project was. I'm trying to educate them, trying to get them in their appropriate follow-ups, having them know what their numbers are. To now, it seems like this week I've seen more beneficiaries that have been now developing more chronic diseases. Now they have high blood pressure. Now some of them have high cholesterol. So we're getting into other things, and thank goodness HIV is really taking a low level about where their care is. So that's great. If you begin to look at, some things over the years, if I think of specific patients and specific things I think, for example, I'll never forget the Downs child we had last year, severe cardiac disease, inoperable, that was probably terminal, how to work that process with the family. This week alone, we've had a couple interesting cases. We've had a great case about a febrile seizure child, how to deal with that. And we've also had a lot of colds and ear infections. So you just never know what you're able to do. It is very impactful to you. It's very impactful to the patients you're able to see. Come join us any way you can, however you can help the team, however you can help. Come out, have a good time like we have.
Now I think we're going to show a little bit of video from this week's.
Jason, how are you? Good to see you. Too welcome. We got a big pile for you. Like you guys. Down there.
She has some difficulty swallowing. Does she have trouble swallowing liquids or just
I'm sorry. Oh, like 2 years? Okay. Both years? Both years? And does it hurt though? Or is it just itchy? It hurts as well. Alright, well, let's see.
So we're gonna put on some medicine first, kind of see if that will help. All right.
ቆንጆ ነው። ይመቻል። ለንባብ ብቻ
Open up the floor for questions, but Danny and I wanted to talk a little bit, not about the past, but about our new initiatives and things that we're currently working on. Introduce myself, I'm Hannah Bansell. Many of you know me, some of you don't. If you notice the family resemblance, it's because I'm Andy Warren's daughter, and recently started working as Ethiopia Act's grants manager.
Yeah, so I'm Daniel Abebe. So I've been working here for the last 20 years, so from the beginning, yeah. So I've been taking part in different roles since 2003. Now I'm serving as a deputy country director for Ethiopia Act.
So one of the new initiatives that we're most excited about that we've been working on this week and we'll be launching in the next few weeks is a partnership with PEPFAR, doing what's called community-led monitoring. And after our many years of working with HIV positive patients in the community, we're not going to be using that information, that skill, and that network to identify issues that are raised by HIV positive individuals that we can then advocate for changes within the health system. And we're excited about it because we feel like we're in a unique position to really to identify real problems and make real changes that'll help not just our beneficiaries, but HIV positive people across the city and across the country.
Yeah, so saying that, for the last 20 years, we have been working in different subsidies in the area of Addis Ababa. So in total, I think we have covered 6 subsidies among the 10 that Addis Ababa has. So currently we are working in Suki and Gagi County. There's 2 different subsidies in Addis Ababa. So for the last 3 and 4 years, we've been focusing in one community. It's called Suki. So most of our beneficiaries used to live in that neighborhood. But now they are like moving toward the outskirts of the city because of this gentrification. So Ethiopia Act as core value is helping and serving the list of this and those who are marginalized. So we are following those who are pushing out from the city. So soon we are planning to expand in new community and new neighborhood. It's called Hana Mariam and Costa Safar. So Costa Safar, it's Costa in Amharic, it means spinach. Yeah, so the people who live there grow this spinach. So that's where we are heading now. Recently in 2022, the Addis Ababa Health Bureau have listed the major deprived community and highly affected by HIV. So among the government listed, one of the community is the one that we are moving, that's Hana Mariam. So in this neighborhood, more than like 60,000 residents are living. So we want to reach that community in the future because that community is the most needy one. Beside this highly HIV rate, it's also where there's high literacy level and where there's like a lot of like malnutrition and poor sanitation in that neighborhood. So as this new year coming in 2023, we are preparing to submit our new government agreement to reach and that community. So in reaching this community, I mean, this like it has been before, the medical team is really playing a vital role in recruiting families and addressing the right need. So it's God's willing that will be the next site. I mean, to reach more poor and women with children and others chronically affected. So still, HIV is it's a big issue in Ethiopia, but we are not still only focusing on HIV. So we are committed to address other public health issues as well, and mostly those who are economically affected.
We're also excited to be launching new innovative projects with our own current beneficiaries, including doing a savings supplementation pilot project to find ways that we can innovatively support people through some of the major financial issues they're facing, like high inflation, which has seriously affected food access and other basic life issues for our beneficiaries. And that's another new area we're excited about. We deeply appreciate the people who support us and make that possible.
Yeah.
And are so thankful for the work that we get to do.
I think most of you know already this. I mean, whenever we have a medical team, we use it beside like helping the patient who's coming to the clinic, but it's also help us just to connect Ethiopia Act to the new community. So we appreciate your involvement still, and we want to say like thank you for being part for this the last 20 years. So we give credit for the impact that Ethiopia Act has brought in the community, first to God, and the partners like you guys, especially with the medical team.
Yeah.
I don't really have any questions, but I just wanted to say hi to everyone and how much I missed you guys and how great it is to see all the guys in Ethiopia today.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, this is Nancy. I just wanted to say hi. It just warms my heart this morning, whatever time you're in, to just say hello to everybody and just know that you are continued to be lifted up by people here on this that you see today, but many more people behind the scenes so many people have helped each one of us come to Ethiopia and want to see us continue. So just continue to do all the great work, and may God bless you all. And it's been a wonderful morning. So thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Yeah.
This is Carolyn. I wanted to say good morning and hello. I'm actually in Addis on some other work. But I did want to ask the question, over time, have you noticed the need for more women's health types of medical needs? And what are they, and how would you like to see them dealt with?
Yeah. To start with the information we have, like 80% of the beneficiaries we have are women, and the women who are benefiting from the project. They represent the community at the same time. Because the health system is not working up to the standard, the community is not satisfied with the care. And as part of the community, women are majorly affected by the health, especially reproductive health and health issue related to cancer, cervical cancer, and even also services like cancer of the breast is quite common here. And that is the area where most of the gap is, and even the community-based health insurance couldn't cover.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Not only on health and women, but ACT is also if we see like back our impact in strengthening economically the women's who are part of our program. So we have one of our intervention is economic strengthening. So we give priority for women to be self-sufficient through with their like economy. So even in last year, out of the 40 or 50 who trained as basic business training, 98% of them are women. So we give a priority and attention on regarding health and also strengthening economically for women.
Thank you. I'm a second hello.
Yeah, I too want to just echo how good it is seeing everybody there all together. It's awesome. I mean, I've heard a lot of your names over the years, but I've never met you. So I'm glad to not only see the folks in Ethiopia, the guys back here.
Yeah, it's good to see you, John.
It's nice to see you, John.
Hi, John.
Yeah, it would have been really great to see, especially to mention halftime. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we hope that we were thinking that she will die soon, but she survived and now won condominium lottery. She's healthy, attending. Everything is renewed with her, and every time when I see, I remember you and your team.
Yep. Thank you.
Well, I'll echo the same thing, if I may. It has been a few years. Danny, Gazal, Alamu, Gurma, everyone. You know, it's been a few years, but this is like old times. And you know, even though I haven't seen you all in a while, you're constantly in my prayers and on my heart. And so just know that you are supported and loved. So it's really great. It warms my heart to see everything that's been happening, and really how God has blessed this completely. You know, and so it's wonderful to be part of this. So thank you all. But I'm second on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Indeed.
Ad.
You love you actually, Derek. You may love to see Tedros, one of our boy, whom you and me visited that family while his husband, his dad was on bed, and mother was alive, and talking a man with the mother, the boy crying and coming into the house. He was almost like 4 or 5 years old at that time. You know, he just graduated, completed his degree, and you will be surprised to see that boy.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Thank you all. Thanks.
So
I'll say hi. One question. This is Adam. Good to see you guys. I'm specifically, I had a call with Jason Polk a few months ago, but maybe Gazal, you might be able to answer this. Like, how are those church plants? I know there was multiple church plants in the last year moving forward, and also a lot of guys in like apprentice training. And I didn't know if you had an update. I think you briefly mentioned that.
Yeah, 2 years, almost 2 years, we started this pastoral apprenticeship program, and we start with 12 guys who are interested to do the church planting, and we give a 1-year training, Westminster Confession of Faith, sonship, and basic teachings on hermeneutics and different courses which help them to start the church planting activity. And now they start these mission churches in 7 parts of the city, and now we are still keep giving training for them and also for those who are assisting them in their ministry. So we are in the process of doing that. So there is a need to be trained for many pastors. Always we said that church planting is just like fixing an aeroplane while it is flying. There are ups and downs, but still we are working on that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no more questions, we may say good night and good morning to.
Have a good day for those of you who's almost morning. Thank you very much for having us, and we appreciate for what you have done these all past years. And also we encourage many churches to be part of this big and life change impacted ministry. So we insist you to send many brothers and sisters who come to serve with us. So the door is open. We are very welcome to see many faces and to make a great impact and bring people to God's kingdom.
And thank you everyone for taking time in the middle of your day to join us. We're hopeful that this won't be the last live session we have from Ethiopia, but that we'll be able to continue seeing everybody in person.
That's right.
That's great.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.